Take us through a journey of a difficult deal or an exciting deal. So you've worked on some crazy deal structures. What stands out to you?
Wow, I mean, you just referenced one. That's when we had purchased the Apple store on the Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica. And I think that's an easy one to talk about because it's something that we actually sold. So I don't think there's anything that's too sensitive to discuss there. But that was an incredible opportunity where we were able to purchase an asset. Actually, there is some real interesting facets to this story because when I bought that, the Wall Street Journal actually wrote a somewhat derogatory blurb about the transaction and said that it was the highest price per square foot ever paid for an asset on the Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica. And to certain people, maybe I looked foolish when I did it. Nobody understood what the capital structure was, and the devil's in the details. And we had borrowed, I would say, about 96 or 97% of the purchase price. We had done a thorough analysis of risk-reward, and all investments come down to risk-reward. And at the time, Apple did not even have any debt. Today they do, but at that time they didn't. And we felt very comfortable that the cash flow was going to be there. It was a long-term lease, and that we were going to be able to cover our debt service, and that at the term of the lease, which was 20 years, we were going to be sitting with a great asset at a very low basis, having paid down a big portion of the loan. And we were not actually looking to sell it. So I had very little capital, very little equity in the transaction. And like I said, it had that really unique high leverage structured debt. And somebody just came knocking on our door one day and said that they wanted to buy the asset. And they did not start at $100 million. They started way south of that. We went through a process pushing them up. And the beautiful thing was we did not need to transact, which is always the best way to negotiate. And I do like to be transparent as I can be with my counterparties. And I told them, listen, this is the number. And if you hit the number, I'm going to make it happen. And it actually was not a long process. We found out after the fact that the buyer was somebody that had a 1031, so he had a lot of pressure. It was a huge 1031. He wanted to split it up between something that had more stable cash flow and then take part of it and put it into something that was more development oriented. He quickly met our price, and and we did the deal. We had to pay massive defeasance, but even so, it was a 13x in a year and a half, and a pretty incredible experience.